Bitch, she's a cow. Bitch, she's a cow. Also a cat. He does say meow. What's up, folks? I got a new eyeshadow palette. Boop. This is a pretty cool palette from Dose of Colors. It's the first neutral toned cool palette that I have seen ever. I'm gonna go out with ever. Usually cool tone palettes lean a little blue, they lean a little purple, but this bad boy here, straight up neutral. I'm working on building up my cool tone eyeshadow collection, and I thought this palette here would be the perfect start to that. I'm going to do an in-depth review, my thoughts and feelings and concerns on this 5-pan palette in my next video. This one here, I just wanted to bring you a look using the palette and a couple other additional products to bring you my daytime smoky look. So let's get into this makeup. Now that you're zoomed in a little bit more, this is what the palette looks like a little bit closer. It's really nice. It's very, very, very neutral. One of my lash clusters came off, so that's fun. As always, I'm starting out with my eyes primed and concealed with the Fenty Beauty Eyeshadow Primer and the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. This shade is pretty light-skinned. It's called Topeless. I love a good shadow name pun. And I'm going to put that in my crease. Like I said, it looks real light-skinned, so it might be just a skosh ashy, but we shall see. I'm just going to put that in my crease, on my hood, on the most visible part of my hood. So the effects of this shade is very subtle, but if you compare this eye that has shadow to this eye that doesn't, you can see that it has brought just a little bit of definition into my crease. Not a lot of color pigmentation, not a lot of color payoff, but I think that has to do with my skin tone and not the shadow itself. There's a lot of kick up also, and I don't dig into my shadows. I literally tap like that and kick up is formed. So I feel like this is also a buildable shade. The outside corner where I'm concentrating more of that color is getting darker. So that's pretty sweet. No, God dang it. Okay, so now I'm going to skip over the next one because the next one looks pretty warm comparatively. And I'm going to jump into this shade here. This one is called Sign Off. I'm taking that on a fluffy brush as well and putting that beneath the shadow that I just applied. This is my first time using Dose of Colors matte shadows. The only other shadows that I've ever used by them was the Desi and Katie, the first collection, and between me and you, I didn't really like it. So I'm putting this more so directly in my crease and a little bit above it. Now we're cooking with steam heat. This shade is definitely cool toned. And then I'm going over top of the Topeless shade, make it a bit softer. I have another look on my channel that is like a cool tone smoky eye, but trust me, it's different. It's different. I'm going to go in with this shade here called Fine Print, which is almost like a gray brown. I'm going even lower with that shade. This look is like very basic, very simple. It's just about building depth. And I just really wanted to test out and see the variations of tones. So right now I'm not exactly cutting my crease, but that's like kind of what I'm doing a little bit. I feel like these blend together nicely. There's not really any muddying of the shades. Okay, this eye looks a little jank. I don't know what's happening right here. Right here there's like a patch. Do you guys see that like streak? So I apply just a little bit more color of that Fine Print shade. No, it's the Sign Off shade. There to kind of help close that gap. I can fix it. Over here it's doing what I wanted to do. There's kind of like a gradient effect. Over here I kind of like F'd myself in the B. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We're going to move on. Now I want to take just a smidgen of the deepest shade called Smoke Show right there. And I'm just going to put that on the outerest outside part of my V. Outerest part of my V, don't come off flash, thanks. This is an all matte palette, and I'm not the best at all matte looks. I think they take a little bit more skill than shimmer, so I'm going to go in with another palette, the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions, which is perfect for this look here, I'm going to take this taupey color right here. Taupe, focus on the taupe. Take that taupe color right here. I'm going to apply that to my lid with my finger. I'm going to take the brush that I had one of the darker shades on, and I'm just buffing out part where I put it too high. LOL. I want to take the brighter taupe shade, the brighter taupe shimmer shade, this one, and put that just in the very inner part of my eye. I'm using this little dinky brush that the palette came with. And generally when you buy like a prestige palette and it comes with the brush isn't the greatest, but it's okay. This brush is like flimsier than flimsy. Like this brush is like a Q-tip almost. The bristle parts of it are fine. It's the handle part where I feel like I'm just gonna like crack it in half. Okay, now I'm gonna do the lower lash line. Don't think I want to go too smoky because it is 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna take this one here. I'm gonna take the sign off shade, run that underneath. And not exactly on the lower lash line, more so in that like enhancing the eye bags area. And then I'm going to take the deepest shade, Smoke Show, and put that actually closer to the lower lash line. I've already concealed my under eyes, obviously, and I set it using the Secret Brightening Powder for Under Eyes by Laura Mercier. I will touch more on this product in my VIB sale haul, but let me tell you, this is the best powder that I have used to set my under eyes ever. Store that in your memory banks. I want to keep my skin more matte for this look. I'm taking two NARS based products today. I'm taking the tinted moisturizer and the velvet matte skin tint. I'm using the tinted moisturizer to kind of sheer out the skin tint because even though it says it's a skin tint, this ish here is like a legit foundation. It has a lot of coverage and it is very matte, and I want to have more of a satin matte finish. And I found that mixing the two of them together give me that satin matte effect. All right, now I'm going to add some dimension back with some bronzer. This is just the NYX matte bronzer in the shade Deep Tan. That way I don't look like a big old moon pie. For my blush, I'm using Birthday Suit from ColourPop, which is like a cool tone pink shade. Then my highlight I'm keeping super simple. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Ombre blush and My Tai Buy You a Drink. For my lips, first I'm going to line them with the Grunge Lippy Pencil from ColourPop. It's like a cool tone round rose color. And then I'm going to go in with the Unbuttoned Stunner Lip Paint from Fenty Beauty. I recently found that my favorite way to wear these extra light lip colors is by applying them simply in the center of my lips and then using my finger to blend it out. And finally, top it all off with the Praline Butter Gloss from NYX Cosmetics. And that's it. This is the final look. I know I said I'm going to do a full review of the Dose of Colors Pretty Cool palette in my next video, but the Cliff Notes version is, I'm really impressed with it. As always, if you have made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you so very much from the bottom of my heart. I feel awkward for asking, but if you could please subscribe to my channel, that would be great. All right, till next time. Bye, folks.